Okay, so now it's time to install that duct. Important to do the belt before, and that's what I didn't do. So let's install the duct. Okay, so what we're gonna do is now we're gonna hook up this air duct that goes from the turbo and brings air into the airbox. So we're gonna remove this blue towel here. This part is going to connect here on that part here of the turbo. So I'm going to remove the blue rag there right now. And the challenge is to go through all these hoses and everything, but it's the best timing to do so because they're not hooked up at this moment to anything. So, and the two bolts here, they have to go both here, just below the two vanos, one here, second one here. So that's the cascading at this time. We're gonna try to find our way there. I'm gonna try to move things a bit aside to help it. So the connectors that are going to be going up above, I'm going to pull it up. I need extra crowded here, more than we need. Thing here. Oh, there is a seal to install. You might already have it. Mine was broken. This rubber seal. You gotta make sure there's it's not the same one that goes on the rear turbo that it goes on the front. This thing on it. Seems obvious to me that Mickey Mouse is gonna go up there, so maybe I should line Mickey Mouse first. I'll do it after. Yeah, we'll do that after. I'm gonna go behind the wiring. Gotta try to insert the gasket. I installed a gasket on the pipe, plastic pipe first. That's gonna make it easier, I think. I'm gonna put a drop of oil on it too. So it's got to go underneath the electrical wire, the two here that are for the stuff that connects around here. And then it's this clip. Always get into interference with that big radiator lower hose, the one on the exhaust side. So once you line up the clip here, this clip, once you line it up around the hose, then you're going to be able to line up this thing, and then you need to push it in place. It's a bit hard, but if you grab it, you'll be able to push it in place. That's it. And then it's just these two bolts. And you just torque them up. And okay, so the Mickey Mouse hose has got to go behind this, all these hoses, behind this one here for the, that goes at the bottom of the engine oil, engine coolant tank, and also behind this hose, the one here that is for the radiator, the big one, because it's got to go through that clip. So I need to kind of pass it here in the hole in between, underneath. Maybe I could have set it there before setting up that duct, but I didn't, so I'll try to pass it. So the way I was able to get that hose in place is by not passing the front end. The head of it is too big, so I had to pass the body of the hose by squeezing that one and moving that one, and I was able to insert it in between that hose and the clip. But I would say it's better to have that hose down there, like inside, maybe here, hanging down, when you install that duct, so it's going to make your life much easier. So now it's this is where it goes in that clip. Okay, now it's time to install this pipe that connects the turbo to the intercooler. So it goes with clamps like that. The tool to do so would be a wrench like that, 10mm that I have, that is ratchet with a bit adapter. This is a 5mm hexagonal bit. I have also a smaller one if it's getting too tight. So I want to be able to reach these from up above, so I'm gonna locate them accordingly. In order to install this thing, I might be able to just slide it like that and lower it, but if I got interference with this place, I'm just gonna go under the car and gonna slide it in, because this thing in a way connects to the intercooler, so there's definitely a way to install that thing in there. I'm gonna get this thing in between the wire for the oxygen sensor and the engine, and of course I did some cleaning to have a bit of access, move all the wires up above. So that's the task I'm on now. So it's gonna be a matter of these rings. When you release them, there's a O-ring that hold the bolt in place, and there's also a clip. So sometime you need to remove that clip in order to be able to put them in place, right? And then once they're in place, you can clip them first, and then you line up your bolt by hand, and then you're going to be able to torque them properly. So let's insert that thing. I can try right away here, but I would doubt that it's gonna work. Maybe. You want to make sure you got O-rings also here. It's a bit hard to see, but on the connecting, if you don't have your O-rings, you need to install an O-ring there. So you need also to remove the rags from the turbo if you plug them up like I did. So this one here is going to be easier because it's more accessible. So you want to put the thing in place. Then you need to, it's the same kind of color that you have on the pre-catalyst. No, it's my clip that is clipped. Okay, once you remove the clip, it's gonna work better. Sometimes you also need to rotate it in order to be able to insert it. It's getting alive. Sometimes you need to turn it. There's an opening here on this ring. Sometimes you need to turn it because it's kind of crimpy in order to be able to line it up at its place. Here it is. You can line up the boat and it seems like it's working. There we go. Now it's lined up, so we can rotate it and we can screw it in place. You gotta make sure when you're gonna torque it that the boat is not gonna damage the aluminum pipe. Make sure you got enough room. Then it's just a matter of torquing the boat in place. You gotta make sure that this collar is overlapping both flanges. That's all there is to it. So once you're done installing the pipe that connects the turbo, this boat head is got to be, this is the way I oriented it. The orientation of the head is there, so my tool goes this way. And you got to make sure you got enough clearance here if you look at the boat tip toward the pipe. So sometimes you screw it in place, then you need to rotate a bit the this collar. If it gets hard, sometimes with a screwdriver you can rotate it a bit. When I try to connect the other end of the turbo around here, the pipe was not fitting in. This is aluminum, so you can, it is a lot flexible. Not flexible in a way you can move it around like a garden hose, but it's you can put your hand here, and with the other hand, if you pry it a little, it will fit in place. You can see the other bolt head. It's there on the end. I don't know if you can see it. This is far. It's on the tip of this screwdriver here. You see the bolt there. It's right there. So the collar is around like this. Imagine this is the pipe, right? The bolt is here. It's here on that side. This is how I set it up.